Those are Koshi chimes. Each resonates with a different element, different frequency. And today's video, October the 28th, 2025, is going to be about inner peace. So no dancing. I think I'll just turn up the light a little bit here. No dancing. We're going to talk about inner peace. So ways that you can find balance in our chaotic world. So in the book, this is the 7th video that I've done promoting ideas and products in the book that hopefully will be out in a few weeks. 8 steps to awakening your highest potential. And the Koshi chimes, I've talked about the Tibetan bowls, music as a way to increase your frequency. And I'll show you a chart that, review of a chart that we did previously. In the book, I also talk about other meditation products. So beeswax candles, for example, and how they change the ionic balance in your space. And, you know, maybe you'll have a local farmer, a bee farmer that sells honey or beeswax candles, because that frequency is a natural frequency. So whether you have a candle or you're eating the honey, you know, frequencies that are in and around you, you adopt. Other things I've talked about in the book, I think I better blow out that candle, swing my hair and catch on fire, are the orgone pillars. And I give references on where you can find that, as well as shungite from Russia and other precious gems and stones that can help elevate energy. So if you're interested in that product guide, you can email me, dr.denagc@gmail.com. I'll put this connected to this video. And the product guide has over 20 different products that I'm already using and have been for years. And I'll also send you the reference guide so you can see where I've got my information. That's kind of an inner book circle. So you'll also be notified when the book comes out. And I may even have some complimentary digital copies to share with you. So I'd love to hear from you. And thank you to all those who have already connected with me. I love having your feedback and your ideas. So let's talk about meditation. So it could be, you know, a traditional meditation where you're having a hand signal, a yoga mudra, whatever that is. You know, don't misinterpret that. You know, some people have taken different hand symbols, and that would be in the 4th dimension, where it can mean 2 different things. But in this case, it's a yoga mudra that I'm showing you. And you can sit in a comfortable position with your ischial tuberosities or your sits bones connected to the earth. That way it puts you in a neutral position with your palate, your hard palate over your pelvis, your shoulders are back, your chin is slightly tucked. And when your spine is in a good alignment, you're more able to receive, you know, cosmic energies. And then if you chant like Om, Om, your own voice is a powerful resonator. It's a powerful way to balance. Or you could just go for a walk in the woods. If you're not into, you know, meditation and chanting, it could be a walk in the woods where you're surrounded by natural frequencies. Or it may be jogging, right, where you get the repetitive motion and you're just hearing your breath. Or lovemaking, or something else that fulfills you, where you feel energized, but you feel that inner calm. You know, you'll know what that is for you. I know after a yoga class, you know, a real hard yoga class, I just feel that inner peace or inner calm. And breath. So, you know, let's just focus on that for this video in talking about breath. And I'm going to show you an ancient hieroglyphic symbol. Many of you will know this, right? It's an Egyptian symbol called the Ankh, A-N-K-H. And they believe that this is the key, really, to life. That the breath, the circle represents spirit, and the cross is matter, and that your breath connects the spirit to the matter. When you cease to breathe, right, is when your spirit separates from your body. So if in our breathing, in our meditation, we could use that principle of breath suspension, it's almost like a little meditative moment. It creates like a little portal to help you get into deeper meditation. So it's what they call box breathing, because you inhale for the same count that you're holding, that you exhale and then hold again. So let's just try for 4. You can breathe with me. Ready? So take a big breath, start with your belly and then bring it all the way up to your chest. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. And inhale. So by inhaling and exhaling and holding for the same amount of counts, it actually helps balance the hemispheres in your brain. It helps balance the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. It helps balance your pH. It's like a magical tool to help balance your mind and your body. It's so simple, right? We all do it every day. But if you can do it in a controlled, conscious way. And in the book, I also give some other breath exercises, like the yoga Nadi Shodhana, they call it, or alternate nostril breathing. So this even makes it more powerful because it helps balance the ions. You know, the right nostril process positive ions, the left nostril negative, and masculine and feminine parts of the body. So it gets even deeper. Not only are you using breath and holding breath, but you're also using your nostril. Again, like I said, it's called Nadi Shodhana, but that's all explained in a whole section in the book. So box breathing. Let's just talk about something that I talked about in the video where I had on my, what was that, belly dancing skirt and was showing you some fun ways to play the Tibetan bowls. It was this diagram. And I'm just gonna see if I can shut this off for a moment. This is the different dimensions, a book called by Barbara Hand and Jerry Clow, The Alchemy of 9 Dimensions. You'll get more information if you want to understand and know about the different dimensions. But I don't know if you remember this chart, but dimension 1 is the iron core of the earth. Dimension 2 is between the iron core of the earth and the surface of the earth. Dimension 3 is you on the earth in a linear form. And the 4th dimension is around the earth. This would be like governments, churches, banks and casinos and people that manage your money, the entertainment industry. And the collective mindset is that 4th dimension. The 5th dimension is your heart, right? The love and wisdom and grace of your heart. Notice how this is over the 4th dimension. And then the 6th dimension is sacred geometry. The 7th dimension is sound. This is my interpretation of sound as light. And then there's 8 to 12 dimensions. But for this, for the purpose here, we'll just go to 7 dimensions. So the let's look at the 4th dimension. I quickly talked about this in the other video, but the 4th dimension has duality. What does that mean? It has 2 sides. So the churches can be positive, but they can also have a negative. They can work in your benefit or not, right? During COVID, we've seen that, how some churches required you to put on a muzzle and inject yourself in order to be part of that worship, for example. So there's good and bad. There's 2 sides. If you can only see one side, it means you are being controlled within that matrix. The governments, for example, I gave the same analogy that government means to control your mind. So the governments are put in place to control those who can't govern themselves. And the entertainment industry, and again, like I said, banks and casinos, but there's always 2 sides. That's why they call it a duality. And that is around us, that fourth dimension. Okay, so this is what calls us out of our peace. These are the factors that call us out of our inner peace, right? The TV, the politicians. I just had an email from Jason Christoff where he compared our current politics to the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, for entertainment purposes only. Because, if you're following and you're watching the news, you're being pulled out of your peaceful inner state of calm and balance into this rat race of the fourth dimension. The only way out, as I've suggested before, is through your heart. Now, what does that mean? It's finding gratitude in any challenge that's happened in your life, either currently or something in the past. And that grace changes your brain chemistry. I just posted about this last week. It changes your biology. It actually expands your mind and brings you a sense of inner balance and calm. So you have to ask yourself, if you see something happening in that fourth dimension, where's the other side? Right? And when you can see both sides and balance them equally, that's what brings you into the unity of your heart. And that's how you escape the matrix. So in the book, I talk about 8 steps to awakening your highest potential as being both a map, because I literally show you some steps of how to move, how to jump over the fourth dimension right into the fifth, and show you different ways that you can use sound to change matter into the lower dimensions. So it's both a map and, most importantly, a mirror. Why is it a mirror? Thank you for watching. Ina, Sherry, Carla, Karen. Why is it a mirror? Because the divine codes are already within us, right? They're in our DNA. They're in our biology. What wakes up the divine codes? Being in a place of grace is one thing. The others are the cosmos, or what's happening, the energy around us. So let's take a minute to talk about that. That the stars, planets, are not just up there in the sky. They're actually within us. Their energies are infused in us. And right now we're going through what astrologers call kind of a collective initiation, because we have 5 slow-moving planets that are all changing signs within an 8-month period from yin to yang. This has never happened before in recorded human history. And the 5 outer planets represent our collective consciousness, or our collective evolution. So I'm going to go into detail and talk a little bit about that. But your natal chart, what's that? Your natal chart is like a print. Here's someone that you'll love. Justin Trudeau. Woohoo! Justin's natal chart. But the natal chart is like a picture of the stars in the sky at the time you were born. And those certain planets have energies that are infused into you. So this is like your map. But then the planets continue to rotate and continue to move out around and affect you in different ways. So having your astrology natal chart done with an astrologer, I think, has been so helpful for me. And I've been studying astrology for 15 years, and I still feel like I'm, let's see if I can turn this on. I still feel like I'm beginning. There's so much to learn. But the astrology natal chart is almost like your soul's blueprint. And it becomes, for me, a living, practical tool that I can use in helping navigate my world. It helps connect you and your actions to a cosmic rhythm. So let me give you an example. Tonight, the moon is in Capricorn. My natal moon is in Capricorn. Santos Bonacci says, when the natal moon is in the same constellation as the moon when you were born, you're more intuitive, you're more spiritual on those days. This Christos energy, or Christos oil that he talks about, can ascend Jacob's ladder a little easier when the moon, the transiting moon and the natal moon are aligned. Now, for someone who doesn't know astrology, that might sound a little strange, but I've explained it in the book, and help give you some astrology calendars, talked about the difference between kind of moon cycles and the Gregorian calendar and how they're different. So there's a difference between our terrestrial time and universal or cosmic time. And if you can attach to the cosmic time through your natal chart or through knowing what the moon cycle is, it helps you be more effective and efficient and powerful in your earthly existence, let's say. So the stars don't necessarily determine your path. You know, I can't look into my crystal ball and say, oh yes, this certainly is going to happen. But they help illuminate it. So they can help you plan, you know, certain events. They can help predict certain things. And like I said, they add love and wisdom and power to you. So it's an additional offering from the book. And in the reference guides, I put in a lot of the astrology texts that I love, and I also include astrology schools like Astro Butterfly, Stephen Forrest School, where I both studied, my first astrologer, Deborah Young, my website, other website. So the astrology courses and mentors and books and things that I've read, I've also included in the book. So you can have that for your own reference. Let's talk about astrology speaking, what's happening. So we have the 5 outer planets. Pluto's moving into Aquarius. Pluto gives us the why. What's Aquarius? It's like our sovereignty. We're moving from Capricorn, which is like this structured government, into our sovereignty. This is why this is happening. This will be like this until 2040. Neptune is our dreams. Neptune right now is in Pisces, which helps us attach to kind of like our spiritual oneness, let's say. But in February 15th, it's going to be conjunct Saturn, the planet Saturn, in Aries. This is going to be massive. Why? Because Aries represents our bold, our brave nature. Saturn is kind of the structure, and Neptune is our dreams. So we're going to bring structure and be able to manifest in a very real way. That'll be happening February. And then Uranus is the planet of insight, and Uranus is moved into Gemini. Gemini, it represents kind of the communication, curiosity, technology. So we've seen how, you know, our communication and AI has really infiltrated, right, our communication. And is AI good or bad? Well, AI is, again, in this 4th dimension. It's both good and bad, right? Positive, negative. It has 2 sides. It has duality. If you surrender your power to a consciousness less than your own, you will be more dense and you won't be able to ascend. So the way I see AI has been helpful for me. You know, Grammarly, as I've used it to edit my book. ChatGPT has been a great research assistant, but I'm not handing over my power to AI. I'm just using it. It's a tool. You see, AI is that duality. It can give you a yes or a no. It gives information, but AI can't combine both sides in order to find love and grace. John DeMartini says that it's the simultaneous synchronicity of complementary opposites is what love is, right? It's being able to combine that duality. So AI can never do that. But you have to be the master of your own life. If you surrender to it, like the government or to a church or to the music and entertainment or whoever the controllers are in your life, if you surrender your love and wisdom to it, it leaves you at a disadvantage. Anyway, so we have Uranus in Gemini, and then Jupiter is in Cancer. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Cancer is the mother, the home, the nurture. It can be food, family. So right now there's an expansiveness about those topics. So we'll be continuing, right, to have an interest in our food and the quality of our food. It's also a good opportunity for you to revisit a relationship with your own mother. Now, it may not be your biological mother who mothered you, right? Your biological mother may not be there, but look at the form of mother. It could be your father who mothered you, or your grandmother who mothered you, or a sibling or friend or a coach. But going back and seeing and appreciating and finding gratitude in that mothering is really important right now, because it mirrors our feminine divine. It's our expansive mother. And if you're still mad about something that happened between you and your mother, or somebody that was mothering you, and you haven't seen the benefit in it, that will hold you back. You won't be able to ascend out of the 4D matrix because you're still in duality. You're still thinking it's bad without saying the good, or you're still thinking it's good without saying the bad. You have to see both in order to move into the fifth dimension, which is your heart. So it's a great time to revisit relationship with mother, and being a mother. It will help, like I said, attach to that feminine divine, which is now in expansion. And in the book, I give clinical examples. Of course, I've changed the names and slightly changed this story, but giving you examples of healing, what people would call miraculous healing, just when a person can find that balance in their life. So there may be some horrific event that's held them back and created sickness and illness in their body, and when they balance it in their mind and their heart opens, their body heals. It's truly magic. And again, so you'll see some of those examples in the book. So we have those 5 planets. There's something else really interesting happening right now, and it's called 3I, the letter I, Atlas. What does that mean? 3 is the 3rd time there's been an interstellar comet. I is for interstellar, and Atlas is the name of the alert system that has seen this comet coming towards Earth. It's not going to hit us, apparently. But let's say some psychic astrologers believe that there's an energetic symbolism in that. So the first interstellar comet was in 2017. The second one was in 2019, and then 2025, this one. So it was first noticed in July and was coming past the sun. It'll come closest to the Earth in December 2020, next month, or yeah, this December 2025. So what do they think about this interstellar comet is that the 3rd time, 3 proofs, trilogy, that it's getting us to look up. It's having humans look up into the cosmos and realize that we're not alone, right? We're not alone. This interstellar comet came from another solar system. And it will take, like I said, a bypass through the sun, pass by Venus and the Earth, and then it goes on never to return. So some of the cosmic beings say that psychic astrologers are kind of cheering us on. It's like they can't believe that humanity is in such a speedy evolution, that we're evolving as so quickly. And you know that, right? You know that the controllers are losing their foothold. I posted something about the flu shot. Shoppers Drug Mart has an ad that says, "Flu shot, think pharmacist." They're trying to kind of have you surrender, this is what I'm talking about, surrender your own thinking mind and own thinking brain to the pharmacist, right? This is the drug industry. Pharmaceuticals is in here, thinking the drug is all good and not bad. Well, there's nothing in the flu shot that's any good for your immune system as far as I can see, but you can read it yourself. You can go to the ingredients and read it yourself. But my point is, I posted that. I didn't get one negative comment. I didn't get anybody calling me a quack. Nobody told me I was dangerous to the public. Nobody said I should never be, sharing this information. If I published that even 3 years ago, I would have had all those comments. Not too many shares. So people now are waking up, right? The controllers, the pharmaceutical companies, for example, have less power. Why? Because we're waking up to our love and power and wisdom. It's amazing, right? We're already in this change. We're already, feeling the energy of that. We're already feeling the energy of it. So let's summarize. We're already in the midst of this collective ascension, let's say, this expansion, this growing of our evolution, this expanding of our mind and heart. in our human forms. Because you see, we also have a form, we also have another dimension. In the sixth dimension is our spiritual self. In Egypt, they call it the Ka, K-A body, or a spiritual body that's higher than our physical body that you see way down here on earth. And many people, and in the 10th chapter, I talk about how to know which dimension you're in based on certain traits and certain characteristics that you might be noticing in your life. And you can see, which dimensions you have access to by looking at those questions for yourself. But we can see evidence of this expansion already, right? The Earth's frequency, the Schumann resonance, right? Spikes up and down. We have coronal mass ejections happening. The cosmos are reflecting the change, so the 5 planets changing signs, right? Never before in history. We have that 3-eye atlas, the interstellar comet that's coming through. And even our collective mind, like I just said that example, about how we can see the controllers are losing power as men and women are waking up to theirs. Your frequency right now, I actually, I'm having some tension in my upper cervical. I can feel tension in my ears and my head. You may be feeling tired. These are symptoms. You can look at it as you're about to have, and you may be already having, an upgrade in your energy. So you're going to be exposed to more of these higher energies and higher dimensions. You might notice that your tastes for foods are changing, your tastes in friends, your activities. You might just be kind of shifting in other ways in your life too. So the message from this video is inner peace, is take time for you. This is how you can allow that transformation, that ascension, that collective evolution to happen. And meaning getting grounded on the earth. Spend time outside. I mentioned in one of the other videos about earthing shoes or sitting on the ground, being out in nature, in the sunlight. The sun's energy is so healing and balancing, not only for our body, but for our mind and our pineal gland. In the book, I also give sun-gazing meditations. High vibrational foods, foods that are alive, or in Ayurvedic medicine, they say foods that are high in prana or energy. Are really important at this time too. Breath or meditation practice. Salt water is a great way to not only hydrate, but balance your electrolytes, help balance your body in many different ways. Mindful exercises and movement. Avoid the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, Turn off the TV. Because when you're posting about, what's happening in politics, or when you're talking about it, you're being dragged down into that frequency. It's like their trap for you. So what you're watching, what you're feeding yourself, what you're feeding your mind, what you're reading is really the energy that you adopt. So look for things that inspire you instead of bringing your energy down. Look for people that bring your energy up instead of bring you down. And you can help move through your ascension with less resistance if you make sure the frequencies around you are the place where you want to be. And that also, your words are frequencies. So your words are actually creating your reality. So be careful of the words that you're using. Social media, same thing. I find myself sometimes scrolling through Facebook and I think, oh, what are you doing, right? Unless it's something that really feels inspiring to me, right? I turn it off. Or a music. And in the previous video, I mentioned about the difference between 432 and 440 hertz in music, and how one actually helps resonates with your structure and is a harmonic, a natural harmonic, and the other can actually irritate your system. So what you're listening to. And then, like I said, being outside, walking in nature, because not only nature gives you the frequencies, but it gives you the smells, right? So essential oils from the trees. You're getting sunlight, and vitamin D is really important right now, right? As the sun is starting to disappear in the northern hemisphere anyway. Singing, or singing a song. Ala suti talama. That when my son was young, he always wanted me to sing "Oh Canada" to him, and I think it was because it goes up the scale, right? The notes go up the scale, and each note is resonating with a certain energy chakra. So the best energy tool is your own voice. So sing more, or play an instrument, especially one that's tuned to 432 hertz. Dancing is like, moving, your spirit's moving to music, or a type of exercise. So, or like a yoga or a type of meditative movement exercise. So let's summarize. In today's world, you're being given a choice to stay in the monkey mind of the matrix, fourth dimension, with their ideas, their TV, their music, their whatever, or you can balance, find the two sides of the story. How did it serve you? What is the detriment to it? And you're able to integrate and move into your heart. And into your heart, this is where you're more powerful than anything underneath here. Right? That's where you find love and grace. And you can start by looking at your life right now and finding the love and grace in anything that's been challenging for you. The bigger the challenge that you have, something that you're really emotional about and you think it's only bad, you can't see any benefit in it, like AI is terrible, right? No, there's benefit too, right? If you can see the benefit and how it may be challenging, that's where you find a balanced place in your heart and your mind, and that's releases the baggage and allows you to expand, which is one tool. And your breath will help with that, as well as other things that I suggested and other tools that I'll give you in the book. But your breath, simple breathing, you have that, no charge. You don't even have to buy it, right? It's not even on the Amazon. The box breathing, and you can slowly increase, right? I did the breath for a count of 4, but you can do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can go, just inhale for the same amount that you're holding, exhale, same amount, hold, just like a box. And that truly changes your biology. So these are just some simple tools. If you'd like to have more, you can send me an email, and I'll post the email underneath here. The product guide, like I said, gives products in relation to today's videos. It'd be stones and orgone pillars and beeswax candles and chimes, astrology calendars, astrology schools, astrology books that I study. And that'll be kind of our focus for today. But email, I get my tongue back tomorrow. Email me if you're interested in being part of that inner book circle, and I'd love to share it with you. So reach for the stars, envision and achieve your personal best, and most of all, enjoy the journey. This is Dr. Dina signing out.